Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Tyreek Hill might be one of the most electric wide receivers we've ever seen lace up cleats in the NFL. But what he just said about his future with the Miami Dolphins might surprise a lot of fans, and maybe even a few front office execs around the league. Speaking on the possibility of a new contract extension with Miami, Hill made it clear he doesn't need to be the highest paid receiver in football. That's right. The same Tyreek Hill who's known for his lightning speed, jaw-dropping highlights, and big personality says he's more focused on staying with the Dolphins and winning games than cashing the biggest checks. With his current deal set to expire after the 2026 season, this could have major implications for how the Dolphins manage their roster and cap space moving forward. Hill's cap hit for 2025 is already an eye-watering $27.7 million, second only to Calvin Ridley. And yet, even with that massive number hanging over Miami's salary cap like a Florida thunderstorm, Hill's recent comments are painting him as the ultimate team player. "I'm very grateful," Hill said. "I want to be in Miami. You can tell this isn't just lip service. There's a real sense of contentment and loyalty behind those words." Hill went on to praise coach Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins organization for standing by him not just as a player, but as a man. That kind of mutual respect doesn't come easy in this league, and when it does, it's rare to see a superstar openly say he doesn't need to be the highest paid to be happy, especially in a sport where financial legacy is often as important as on-field legacy. This could be a turning point not just in Hill's career, but in how veterans of his caliber approach their final contracts. Now, make no mistake, Tyreek Hill has earned every dollar he's made since entering the league. In 2023, the guy was unstoppable. He led the entire NFL in receiving yards, finishing the season with a jaw-dropping 1,799 yards. That wasn't just a career best, it was a new Miami Dolphins franchise record for receiving yards in a single season. He was the centerpiece of McDaniel's offense, the player defenses feared the most. And yet he still cooked week after week. The chemistry he's built with quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and the way he fits into the Dolphins' fast-paced, wide-open system, it's special. It's the kind of synergy that coaches dream about when designing a game plan. So when Hill says he just wants to win ball games in Miami, it hits different. Because we've already seen what he's capable of when everything's clicking. But even legends have off years. And Tyreek Hill's 2024 campaign wasn't quite up to his lofty standards. He finished the season with 959 receiving yards, still respectable, sure, but far from the numbers he posted just a year prior. His average yards per game also dropped significantly to 56.4 at 31 years old. Hill is entering that phase of his career where the league starts to ask questions. Is the speed still there? Can he stay healthy? Will he continue to be the same game breaker he's always been? These are fair concerns, especially when you're talking about a potential contract extension that could carry him into his mid-30s. It's also a big reason why the Dolphins might hesitate to make him the highest paid receiver again, even if he asked for it, which, thankfully for them, he's not still. Just because Hill says he's willing to take less doesn't mean this will be a walk in the park. For Miami's front office, balancing superstar contracts while building a competitive roster is never easy. And the Dolphins have some serious decisions coming up. They've yet to get over the playoff hump, having not won a single postseason game since the year 2000. Think about that. We're talking about a drought that spans over 2 decades. The fan base is hunger-starving, even for something more than just flashy regular season wins. If the Dolphins stumble in the playoffs again next season, ownership could be forced to reevaluate the direction of the team. That includes tough calls on everyone from the coaching staff to veteran leaders like Hill. There's also the reality that Hill may not even finish out his current contract in a Dolphins uniform. Nothing is guaranteed in the NFL. If the team underperforms or decides to go younger and cheaper at wide receiver, there's always the possibility that Hill could be moved before 2026. That's not speculation, it's just how the league works. Stars get traded, rosters get overhauled, but hearing Hill talk about his connection to Miami, about his appreciation for the organization and the community, it sounds like he's ready to ride out whatever storm comes next. That kind of mindset can be contagious in a locker room. And for a team looking to finally make some postseason noise, it could be exactly what they need. Another fascinating wrinkle in all of this is how Hill's attitude might influence other stars. Around the league, NFL contracts are constantly being used as measuring sticks: who's the highest paid, who reset the market, who's underpaid. But when a player of Hill's caliber says publicly that he doesn't need to be at the top of the food chain, it challenges that narrative. It sends a message: maybe winning, chemistry, and legacy matter just as much, if not more, than dollars and cents. That's a powerful message, especially in a league where team culture often determines who gets to play deep into January and who's watching from home. If Hill's words carry into action, he could be setting a new precedent for veterans prioritizing fit over fortune. It's also worth noting the impact Hill has had off the field in Miami. He's not just a weapon on game day, he's become a fixture in the community. Whether it's charity work, youth camps, or simply being a positive presence, Hill has leaned into his role as a veteran leader. And in today's NFL, where organizations care as much about image as they do about on-field production, that matters. Miami isn't just a stop on his resume, it's a place where he's clearly planted roots. That deeper connection could be another reason why he's willing to sacrifice a bit of money to stay. It's rare air for a player who, not long ago, was known more for speed and swagger than maturity and leadership. So, as the 2025 season approaches, all eyes will be on the Dolphins, not just because they've got one of the most dangerous offenses in the league, but because the clock is ticking on their playoff hopes, on Tyreek Hill's contract, on the patience of a fan base that's been waiting 25 years for a playoff win. Hill may not want to be the highest paid, but the stakes around his decision are still sky high. What he represents for Miami is bigger than just stats or salary. He's a symbol of what this team could become if they finally put it all together, and if they do. If Tyreek Hill helps lead the Dolphins to playoff glory and possibly a Super Bowl appearance, then no one will be talking about contracts, they'll be talking about legacy. And in the end, that might be exactly what Hill is chasing: legacy, because records fade, contracts expire, but championships last forever. If Tyreek Hill finishes his career in Miami with a Lombardi trophy in hand, that will mean more than being the highest paid. It will mean he made the right choice for himself, for the team, and for the city. And maybe, just maybe, it will inspire a new wave of players to follow suit. Players who are in it for more than just the bag. Players who want to build something lasting. And in this era of the NFL, that's a story worth watching. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? There's a storm brewing in South Florida, and it's not coming from the Atlantic. It's coming from the trenches. Rumors are swirling across the NFL landscape that Nick Bosa is packing his bags for Miami, joining his brother Joey in what could be the most feared defensive duo in the league. The whispers began quietly, just a few insiders dropping hints, a couple of cryptic social media posts, but now the buzz is deafening. Sources close to the situation suggest that Nick has agreed in principle to a multi-year deal with the Miami Dolphins, reuniting with his older brother and creating a pass-rushing nightmare that offensive coordinators will be losing sleep over. It's not official yet, but where there's smoke, there's usually fire, and this fire looks ready to ignite the entire AFC East. If this deal goes through, we could be looking at the beginning of something historic in Miami. The idea of the BOSA brothers wreaking havoc side by side isn't just a dream anymore, it's quickly becoming a potential reality. For years, fans have fantasized about what it would look like if Joey and Nick, two of the most dominant edge rushers of their generation, lined up on the same defensive front. Joey, with his brute strength and veteran savvy, and Nick, with his lightning-fast first step and relentless motor, form a nightmare combination. And now, with Nick reportedly signing on the dotted line with Miami, it feels like the Dolphins are making a clear statement to the rest of the NFL. They're not just here to compete, they're here to conquer. Imagine the schemes, the stunts, the chaos that could unfold on third downs. Quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers might want to double-check their insurance policies if they're going to be facing both BOSA brothers multiple times a season. This move, if confirmed, could redefine what we think of as a super team defense. Miami was already building something special under head coach Mike McDaniel, with a secondary stacked with talent and a front seven that could hang with the best of them. But now, bringing in Nick Bosa to pair with Joey is like adding nitroglycerin to a bonfire. The Dolphins are going all in, and you can feel the energy shift. Fans outside the facility are already showing up with custom BOSA brothers jerseys. The city smells blood in the water and the buzz is electric. We've seen dominant defensive duos before, think Freeney and Mathis or Watt and Clowney, but to brothers bonded by blood and built for destruction. That's something the league has never quite seen. And the Dolphins are betting big that this fraternal force can carry them deep into the postseason. But why Miami? That's the million-dollar question. Nick BOSA had his pick of suitors, nearly. Every contender wanted a shot at bringing him in. San Francisco was desperate to keep him. The Chargers made calls, and even the Cowboys reportedly sniffed around. But Miami offered something no one else could, a chance to play with family. Joey BOSA was already a big piece of the Dolphins' off-season puzzle. After his shocking trade from the Chargers, now, with Nick joining the fold, the pieces are aligning for something special. Sources say that Nick was drawn not only by the opportunity to play with his brother, but also by the culture that McDaniel is building. It's loose, it's aggressive, it's player first, and for a guy like Nick, someone who's all about energy, intensity, and impact, it just makes sense. It also makes sense from a legacy standpoint. The BOSAs are already NFL royalty, the sons of former first-round pick John BOSA, who, coincidentally, played for the Dolphins in the 1980s. This isn't just a new chapter, it's a homecoming, and you better believe that legacy matters too. This family, Miami, is where it all started for the BOSAs. And now it might be where they reach their peak. Imagine the headlines, the highlight reels, the narrative arcs. Two brothers chasing greatness in the same city where their father once wore the teal and white. It's the kind of storyline you can't make up, but here we are on the verge of watching it unfold. It's not just about sacks and tackles. It's about identity, history, and a city embracing the return of its prodigal sons. Opposing teams are already scrambling to figure out how to handle this potential nightmare. Double-teaming both BOSA brothers. Good luck rolling the pocket. Away, pick your poison. The Dolphins' defensive coordinator has to be licking his chops right now, sketching out schemes and blitz packages that are going to unleash absolute hell. And it's not just about pass rush. Both Nick and Joey are known for their discipline in run defense and their ability to read plays before they develop. This isn't just brute strength, it's surgical destruction. If you're a fan of trench warfare and gritty, smashmouth football, you might want to start watching Dolphins games on repeat. This defense is about to become must-see TV. And it all starts with two brothers on a mission to terrorize quarterbacks and dominate the line of scrimmage, of course. Not everyone's thrilled about this. Round the league, eyebrows are being raised. How did the Dolphins pull this off? Is this even fair? Rumors are swirling that there might be some serious restructuring going on behind the scenes to make this move financially feasible. Creative cap management, backloaded contracts. We don't know yet, but what we do know is that the Dolphins aren't playing by the old rules. They're swinging for the fences. And if the league office isn't paying attention yet, they better start, because this move could set a precedent. If star players start realizing they can team up with family, with friends, in warm weather cities with no state tax, the game changes. And Miami might just be at the forefront of a new kind of NFL team building. The media circus is only just beginning. Cameras are camped outside the Dolphins facility. Reporters are combing through flight logs, tracking private jets, reading between the lines of cryptic tweets. Joey BOSA posted an emoji of a palm tree and a shark yesterday. Coincidence? Doubtful. Nick's agent was spotted in South Beach earlier this week. The signs are all there, and everyone knows it, but until we get that official confirmation, it's all speculation. Still, that hasn't stopped Dolphins fans from dreaming big. Super Bowl aspiration are already flying across social media. The BOSA brothers' shirts are selling out online. Local bars are preparing for what could be one of the most electric seasons in franchise history. The city is bracing itself for a football frenzy like it hasn't seen in decades. And what about the locker room? Word is, the vibes are immaculate. Joey and Nick aren't just great players, they're great leaders. Humble, hard-working, and respected by teammates across the league. Their presence in the Dolphins locker room is already being felt, even before it's official. Younger players are reportedly ecstatic at the thought of learning from the BOSA brothers, soaking up every bit of knowledge they can. This kind of leadership, this kind of mentality, it's contagious, and it's exactly what Miami needs to take that next step. They've been knocking on the door, but with Nick and Joey leading the charge, they might just blow the door off its hinges. From Hard Rock Stadium to the national spotlight, the Dolphins are making waves, and the league better start paying attention. So, is it done? Not quite, but all signs point to yes. The whispers have turned into roars, and unless something drastic changes, Nick BOSA will be a Miami Dolphin, joining forces with his brother to form the most feared duo in the NFL. It's the kind of move that could change the balance of power in the league. It's bold, it's brash, and it's brilliant. Miami is no longer building quietly, they're shouting their intentions from the rooftops. The BOSA brothers are coming, and when they do, defenses will tremble, quarterbacks will panic, and Dolphins fans will finally have a defense worthy of their dreams. Buckle up. South Florida just became the epicenter of defensive destruction, and the BOSA era is about to begin. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.